Alright, we know why we're here. The summit was glorious. I was screaming my lungs out looking at the reveal, so without further ado, let's just jump into what was present. Starting off with the new Gaiden game. My initial reaction to the trailer, hell, even the introductory animation to the summit that was just Majima-centric, I remember going, "My boy, finally!" Putting aside my personal bias towards the character, everyone, including the wonderful Hidanari Ugaki himself, wanted a Majima-centric title to drop, and the fact we have something this unexpected to show for it just makes perfect sense. This is modern Majima we're talking about, the character that was first playable in bloody Dead Souls, so a standard beat-em-up game just wouldn't cut it anymore for the Mad Dog's return to the series, at least in playable form. If he was truly gonna come back, RGG couldn't play it safe, by doing yet another entry in the tone of Yakuza 0, or maybe the Majima saga. So much like with the character's own antics, it feels like the devs started thinking about creating something that was just meant to be fun. And looking at the footage, this is basically what you'd get if Majima himself was appointed as a game director. Indeed, the strangely titled Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii just feels like a passion project all around, looking at the way that the actors and RGG staff were happily presenting it. The fact that Akame's, Baba's, and even Koshimizu's voice actors returned in a significantly different capacity for this game was just very endearing to me. Because in the case of the video game industry, it feels like most artistic contributions are just a one and done deal. So the fact we have this many reprisals that allow the actors to do something new within a property that we're already familiar with is something that needs to be appreciated all the more. But yeah, confused preamble aside, let's look at the specifics behind this game. Combat-wise, we will have two styles at our disposal, Mad Dog and Sea Dog. With regards to the returning Mad Dog, it's safe to say that it's everything that people wanted out of the style back during the Majima saga days, and more. The bloody verticality, the fact that Majima can actually jump in combat, the fact he has access to his doppelganger phase, all of this reminds me of the excitement that I felt when I first unlocked the secret style in Yakuza 0 after completing the cabaret. Even if this moveset winds up lacking the frenzy state you'd enter after executing a finisher in 0, this implementation still feels like a natural refinement of the old moveset in a new engine. Essentially like what we got in the Yakuza style in OG Gaiden. Oh yeah, I guess we'll have another naming hellscape with regards to Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, cause it is a Gaiden game, but lacks that namesake in English, as well as the number 8 denoting that this is meant to be a side story to Infinite Wealth, just like Kiryu's Gaiden was meant to be a side story to Yakuza 7, but look, we'll worry about that later on, cause rebranding shenanigans might as well be its own video at this point. With regards to the dual sword style, on the other hand, or rather the prospect of dual wielding cutlasses, it looks like the most chaotic crowd control we've had thus far, with our boy even having access to sidearms at different points in the associated footage. I guess RGG just looked at the agent style and went, alright, how do we make this even more chaotic? I love it. I love literally everything that was shown in this footage. Right, moving on to exploration, and I'm sorry that this feels very chaotic, but I'm recording this just as I saw this footage, and it's pretty hard to contain the excitement, as you can tell. So yeah, exploration. The maps in this new entry consist of Hawaii, Rich Island, and Madlantis. The fact that Hawaii is here is a no-brainer, considering the size of the map, and plus, with the return of Palicana members in the narrative, this title allows for the quadrillion narrative specs that were present in Infinite Wealth to be expanded upon and deepened as necessary. Rich Island, on the other hand, gives off evident Dondoko Island vibes, while Madlantis is essentially what a place like Tortuga from the Pirates of the Caribbean series would look like if it played the function of the castle from the first Gaiden game. All of this is just classic RGG game design by now. Look at the pre-established norm, look at your assets, refine them, redefine them, and keep evolving. Absolutely no complaints here either. Lastly, with regards to the minigames, we have the return of Crazy Delivery with brand new courses, a ceremonious return of Dragon Carts in Hawaii. We know that karaoke will even have a return of 24-hour Cinderella for the first time since Yakuza 0, and finally, we'll also get to partake in an activity referred to as Masaru's Love Journey, or Minato Girls, which, hey, I guess this explains the hostess auditions we've been hearing about all throughout the year. Having said that, I am a bit mixed on this final inclusion. On the one hand, I'm terrified that the game's file size will once again be massive, but on the other hand... Actually, no, there is no other hand, I'm still terrified of that. But I know I'll give it a shot eventually, cause it looks like everyone had a blast while filming the footage. Plus, I'm sure that someone will make a mod that replaces the footage on PC and fixes the install size down the line, just like we've had with the live-action cabaret in Gaiden. Oh yeah, we even heard mentions that sea shanties will be included in some capacity in the game, which, considering the different tone that the karaoke songs would have in a game like Ishin, whether we're talking instrumental-wise or imagery-wise, you can expect me to cover some of these songs on my Twitter account once the game launches. So, all in all, the pirate game is essentially the main thing that this year's summit was centered around. Though we also got a hilarious trailer for Kiwami on the Switch, with Shishido being one of the actors in the commercial. And it gave me one hell of a belly laugh, so whoever brought him onto this, I wanna thank you profusely. Then there's the additional mention of the live-action series, which seems to be progressing towards the release as seamlessly as you'd hope for, and ultimately, we had the reveal of something called RGG Wildside. It's this large-scale collaborative project encompassing fashion and interior design, which, seeing as 90% of my wardrobe is pitch black, is right up my alley. So yeah, provided that the import costs don't destroy my ever-decreasing budget, I'd love to try it out once it releases. Though we still don't know if it will be readily available in the West, so yeah. With all that said, what's the final verdict on this event? I mean, if you could see my live reaction, you'd probably know why my voice is so strained as we speak. Even though we only got one reveal during this particular summit, it was so fun to where adding anything else would just overshadow it unnecessarily. Yeah, a Judgment 3 or a Kiwami 3 frequently got mentioned in the live chat, but given that Yokoyama-san said that there's still a ton of stuff in the works at RGG Studio, I think everyone in the community will get what they're hoping for in due time. As far as I'm concerned, this event was perfect. So, if you'll please excuse me, I'm off to find a way to import that weird Majima pop-up toy that's exclusive to the Japanese stores. Let me know what you thought of the reveals in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you all soon with some more Yakuza-related content. So, until next time, take care of yourselves, and have a great day. Cheers!